Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a fun one for you today. A couple of videos ago, we did a vertical side menu that you could put on any page. Today we've got a little drop-down menu that when you hover on it, it's going to drop down and give you some links. Great way of getting people to navigate to the sections that you want in any page. Well, of course, as they're links, you can get them to navigate anywhere you want. So let me take you through it. So here we are. If we look over on the left hand side here, I've got a little icon. As you can see there, when I hover over it, it's going to drop down with some little links there. They take us to the various sections on our page. As I mentioned earlier, you can take people wherever you want. You don't have to link to the page. You can link anywhere on the web. As you could see, when I took my mouse off of it, it just went back there. Really nice little effect. It'll work perfectly on tablet and mobile also if I hit my F12 key. I'm using Google Chrome with the great inspector tools here. Most browsers have this nowadays, but if yours doesn't, Chrome is a free download. So here we are on iPhone 12, and if you click on it, it'll drop down. We can navigate to our sections that way. And let's take a look on a tablet. Here we are on iPad Air. Let's just make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Go back up to the top. And again, we can roll all the way down and roll back up to the top section there. So let's get started. Really easy to do and a great little navigational interactive feature to have on your site. So I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. I'm going to go down to the little purple button and click on it. I'm going to go to wireframe mode, little icon on the left hand side. That'll take us to the back end view. As that was fixed positioning, this is the easiest way to get to it. Here's the row that we created for it. Let's just delete this whole thing and we'll start from scratch. I'm going to hit the little trash can icon. It's gone. And we can move back to desktop view. Okay, I'm going to add a new row. It doesn't matter too much where I put this because as I mentioned before, it's going to be in fixed position. So let's hit the little green button. I'm going to add a single column. First thing I'm going to put there is a little icon to indicate that we've got something going on. There's a little icon module. I'm going to do a search for a menu or whatever pertains to yours. It's going to look good. I think I used that one last time. That's fine. Not going to have any link, but I will give it a background color. I'm going to use a simple black for mine today. Okay, well, it's way too big. And I want to adjust the padding so it's more square looking. So over in design, here's the icon. I'm going to turn mine white. And I think I might have it to be a different color on hover. Common to all Divi modules, if you hover over the dark writing within a module, some little icons will appear. If there's a little arrow there is in our case, we can create a hover state. Desktops, when the mouse is not on it, we can have one color. If we click on the hover tab, the arrow there, we can have a completely different color. Let's just use that for argument's sake. Okay, I'm going to flip it back to desktop mode. And size-wise, I don't know, about 30 pixels I think I used before. Obviously, adjust yours to taste. Design features are always up to you. That's okay. And as we're on a dark background, I'm going to flip that color from black to red so you can just see it a little bit better. So I want that icon to have a little bit of padding. We'll flip it back to black in a little while. Back over in our design tab is always where you'll find padding and margin. Let's perhaps give it 5 pixels top and bottom. Maybe a little bit too much. Obviously adjust to taste. And we'll try 5 left and right. Doesn't look very central to me. Let's just uncheck that chain so we can do these separately. I put 6 on the right and maybe 6 on the bottom. Got that chain checked there. Take this down to 5 again. 7 on the bottom. That looks about right. Let's take it down one more. I think 7 was good. Okay, now we've got it the size and shape that we want it. Let's put that black background in. Back to content, you always find background under content. Flip that back to black. If you wanted to, you could put another border around there over in design. If I was to put a 1 pixel white border around there, perhaps. It's all by default selected all 4. You can add a little border like that. If you wanted to make it completely round, you could give a high pixel value up here. The chain's already checked, so it'll all do all 4 at once. As you can see, that makes that round. I'm going to leave mine as it was. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to take that little border away. Just a little option for you if you need to make it stand out a little bit more. Great. Well, let's save that now. Let's add another little module. I'm going to add a menu module underneath. I'm going to hit the little dark button to add a new module. I'm going to roll down. And we need to choose a menu here. Now, these menus, you will have had to create some. If I go over to this tab down in Dashboard, Appearance and Menus, this is where you create your menus. If you haven't got one, hit the Create a New Menu, give it a name, and add your little sections right here. I'm using custom links, so I can link to my sections, but you can use pages or anything you want. Okay, presuming you've got a menu, select the one you want up here. There it is right there. Now, I'm not going to add a logo. Elements-wise, I've got no WooCommerce installed, and I don't want to show a search icon, so I'm going to leave those all off there. I don't want to link it to anything. Background color, I'm going to use that same black. And that's kind of made it disappear because the writing's black there, but we'll adjust that in a moment. To do that, over to Design. Layout wise, well, let's make it so you can see it first. It'll make more sense. If we go down to Menu Text here, I'm going to make the active link and the regular menu link white there. I think I'll make it semi-bold, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Now, if I go back up to the layout there, you can have it left aligned, centered, or what they call centered with the inline logo. We're not using a logo, and what that would do would put the logo in the middle of these links here. But like I say, we're not. I'm going to keep mine on the left, and we'll adjust this thing accordingly. Okay, well, I don't want this spread out like this. I want it stacked on top of each other. So to do that, still in design, let's put that back down. I'm going to go down to sizing. I'm going to give it a width, and you want to give it a width that's as long as your longest text link there. So I think I used 125 before. Let's try it. I'm going to go down to width. 125. It's put in a percentage there. I'm going to select that, put px for pixels. As you can see, that squashed that down to 125 pixels wide. Great. I could probably go a little bit lower than that. But I also want to just add a bit of padding to the left-hand side, and also maybe a bit top and bottom. Spread that out a little bit. Let's go up, we'll close up sizing, we'll go down to spacing down below. I'm going to add, well, let's try 30 pixels padding on the left-hand side, just to push it a little bit towards the middle. That works for me. Obviously adjust yours to taste. And I'm not sure if I want any top and bottom yet. I think I might add a bit of line height to these just to spread them out, because on smaller devices they're a little close to tap. So let's go back into our menu text up here, where we made it bold just now. We can roll down to menu line height, pull that up, and it'll space it out. I think that works for me. I don't think I need any padding top and bottom with that. Now, one thing I didn't mention in here, although we've made it semi-bold, Divi has a crazy amount of fonts. I'm sure you knew this already. To audition one, just go in there and roll over it. It'll give you an example. I'm going to leave mine on the default. Great. Now, this is going to work fine on desktop. It will work fine on tablet and mobile, but when we go to tablet and mobile view, this is going to reduce down, and all we'll see here is a hamburger type menu. And on desktop, we've made our own, But we'll hide this one on tablet and mobile and just have the default one on here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. But because we're going to have that, let's roll down a little bit more to drop down menu. And once the hamburger is enabled, in fact, if I go to tablet view right now, you'll see exactly what I mean. If I move this over, we've got a little hamburger menu there. I'm going to make that white in color. But I also don't want a line on the bottom, which is drop down menu line color. So I'm going to make sure that that's transparent. If we roll down a little bit more, we've got the icons here. This is where you'll find the little hamburger. Here's the hamburger menu icon color. We're not using a search or a shopping cart, but if you had them, you could readjust those there. So we've got a regular hamburger menu there. And like I say, we're going to hide that on tablet and mobile. And there's no coding involved in this today. Great, well, let's flip back to desktop version. We've got everything we want going on there. I want this icon to be over on the left-hand side. I don't want any gaps between any of this. So let's just save this. We'll go back into the icon itself. Design. Alignment. I'm going to align this on the left so it's over near our menu there. Fantastic. But as I say, I don't want any gaps there. So let's go into the row, the green tab for the row. I'm going to go over to design and sizing. I'm going to hit the use custom gutter width button right here. I'm going to take it all the way down. I'll take the space away from those two. So they're sitting on top of each other basically. Great. But of course, we only want to see this icon on desktop till we hover over it. And we'll do that in this row while we're in it. So just so you can see exactly what's going on, I'm going to go to my content here. I'm going to give it a background. Again, I'll use a red so you can see it really well. At the moment, our row's that wide and that deep. I want to take any padding away top and bottom. So in design, always find spacing in design. That's where you'll find padding and margin. So padding top and bottom, I'm going to put a 0 in there, hit the chain. We've now got no padding top and bottom. Great. Now, while we're here, we can do some sizing. So let's go up to sizing just above. We've already set the gutter width, but I don't want this row any wider, really, than our drop-down menu here. Unless you've got a drop-down sub-menu, you'll need to make it as wide as that. But for my purposes today, this is 125 pixels should do. So in the width, I'm going to type 125px. Make sure you put the px in again, or else it's going to do percentage. Fantastic. As you can see from the red part there, we've now got the same size row as we have for our little menu. Perfect. But again, I don't want to see any of this until they hover over that bit. So this row that we're in at the moment, I'm going to give it a fixed height. Now that's about 30, 40. We'll try 50 pixels and see what happens. Not a lot of difference. 50px. So you can see that something's happened, but we've still got all this here. It's because our row is actually only about this deep, but this is overflowing from it. So to hide that, we can go to advanced, and this is in all sections, rows and modules. You'll find your overflow down here under visibility, horizontal, vertical overflow. I'm going to change both of those to hidden, and as you can see already, that's disappeared. I think our 50 pixels was slightly too deep there. We've still got a little black bar on the bottom. So if we go back into our design, back to sizing again, we can adjust that, just increment down till it looks about right to you. Yeah, well, it looks about right, 44 to me. Fantastic. Then when they hover over it, we want it to come back to full size. So I'm going to hit the height, roll over it to get the little icon again, the little hover icon. Make sure you click on the arrow for the hover tab here. I'm going to say 100%. So it gets back to its normal size there, 100%. Fantastic. So they've got this when they're not hovering on it, and this when they are hovering on it. Perfect. Well, let's take away this background color. We don't need that anymore. That was just for demonstration purposes. back to content, background. We'll get rid of that one. Great, and we're obviously on hover state at the moment. If I get this up and just flip it back to desktop, it should be just that little icon. Perfect. Now, as I mentioned before, we don't want to see this little icon on tablet and mobile, because if we do, again, if I go to a tablet version, you're not going to have your menu. You're not going to be able to click on it and bring the menu down because the hamburger's hidden just down here. I still think we've got a little line there, so we may need to adjust that just a little bit more. Back down to sizing. There's our 44. Let's just take it down. I don't know if you can see that line or not there. There we are. It's gone now. Perfect. Great. So let's go back to desktop and fix this so we'll hide this on tablet and mobile there. So we can save our row settings now. We'll go into this actual icon module itself. Going to go over to Advanced Visibility. I'm going to disable it on phone and tablet, and you'll see why in a moment. Great. Well, let's put this where we want it. We're going to use a bit of fixed positioning for this today. To do this, let's go into the row. Now, using fixed positioning is sometimes considered not the best practice, but when it's small elements like this, it seems to work perfectly. And of course, we're going to have a little menu icon, as you can see. It's going to stay up on one side, and when you scroll down and up the side like this, it's going to stay exactly where it is, which is just what I want for mine. Of course, you can put it top, bottom, left, right, middle, wherever you want to put yours. But like I say, this is fixed positioning, and it seems to work really well for this element. So let's get back to the build. Okay, to put this in fixed positioning, we're going to go over to Advanced. Once in Advanced, we can go down to Position, just down here. I'm going to change it from the default relative to fixed. And you may think, well, it's disappeared. It hasn't disappeared. It's actually up under our nav bar up here. If I just roll this down a bit, vertical offset, I can bring it down with this one and you'll start to see it on the left-hand side. Put it wherever you want yours. That's fine. I'm just going to offset it from the side a little bit more too. A couple of pixels like that. And while it's over there, let's just roll all the way down the side. Make sure we've got a problem there. You see it's falling behind that section and this section and this section. That's what I was about to say. We need to adjust the Z index so it comes in front of those. So let's obscure it a little bit. Z index right here. Let's just pull this up till it's on top. There we go. Didn't have to pull it up too far. Now let's roll down, make sure it's going to stay on top of the other sections there. Yeah, that seems to work absolutely perfectly. And if you need to, you can adjust it on tablet and mobile here as well. I'm going to leave it where it is for the moment, but if you want to, you can adjust it on those devices. And of course, with this matrix, you can pop it in the middle, on the right, as I mentioned earlier. Bottom left, well, bottom right even, bottom left there. I'm going to leave mine just like that. Great, well everything seems to be working. Let's check it out on the front end to make sure that it's going to all work. I'm going to save everything here. I'm going to go down to Save Draft or Publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. There's our little menu. When I hover over it, it's going to drop down, show us our little links there. Again, I've got my link into a section. I think in the demo one earlier, I had a hover color on these links. It was the same as that icon up there. That works absolutely fine. Let's have a look on tablet and mobile. If I hit my F12 key again. Here we are on an iPad Air. There's our little icon. As you can see, the icon that we created has disappeared because we've hidden it on these devices. Well, we've got our little hamburger menu there. And when I actually click on it, as it's a tablet, we've got our little links, and of course they'll work for us. Click on it again. Great little way of navigating around, because you do have to do a lot of scrolling on phones and tablets, and this negates a lot of that. Let's just check it on the phone. It should be exactly the same. As I mentioned before, you can change the position of this on tablet and phone if you want to. I may have taken it up or to the left or to the right a little bit on the phone. But again, click on it, we've got our little drop down menu, take us to our various sections. And it does save an awful lot of scrolling. Great, well, let's get rid of this and go back to our desktop. There's our little menu. Fantastic. So there you have it, guys. There's how to create a little drop-down menu on hover on desktop and on click on tablet and mobile that works wonderfully. As we mentioned earlier, it's a fantastic way of getting your visitors to go to the sections or areas that you want to take them. And if you've got a lot of info on a site, it's a wonderful way of navigating around that site. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment down below there. It's always great to hear from you. Your comments help me come up with new ideas all the time for things to help you out. If you've enjoyed this menu video today, you may be interested in our menu effects playlist. It should pop up over there any minute now. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.